Hello, I'm Jerry Cook and this is Mike Kaneen, and we're getting ready to do a seminar in honor of the great Grandmaster Sun Beck, or Zhang Zhen, the Taoist Sword Immortal. This seminar will consist of 4 hours and we'll have some of the finest techniques that we can do in that time period for the Japanese samurai sword. It's divided into 6 sections. This will be the first section. First section is chin-up, or grabbing. First section, chin-up grabbing, sword style. Say somebody got your sword, they grab your sword. I pin their hand, counter lock, take their hand and down. Okay, he grabs with the other hand, pin the hand, counter lock against the elbow, and then straight down. Okay, to the other side. He grabs the sword. First thing you do is pin the sword. Take the butt of the sword, angle it, make an S out of the arm, and then straight down. The other hand, show the other side. Pin the hand to the sword. Bring the sword up, make a little S or a Z out of the hand, pin and push the sword directly into the center line of his body using your body weight. All right? Second section, if he grabs with 2 hands. So now, grabs with 2 hands, sections out. What I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm going to pin his hands or just grab the sword, kick him in the groin, twist the sword, throw over, try and flip, and then in order to throw him, I just twist. All right? Now, if the opportunity is to try the other side, this time he grabs. As he grabs, I step over, twist, he doesn't let go. Okay, so I start off, again, forgot the kick to the groin, butt strike him in the head of the thing, elbow strike him in the head, shoulder stroke. If that doesn't get it, shoulder stroke, knee stroke, he lets go slightly, if not, then I strike him with the end of the thing, strike him head, and strike again. Again, these are techniques without taking the sword out. All right, the next one is called the walking stick. This is using it like a walking stick. First technique, say we grab the hand, you strike upside the jawline, underneath the jaw behind the ear, strike it and bend it down. From over here, this side, striking underneath the ear, then locking the elbow, striking in the groin, and bending, locking over. I got him in the arm bar, I got him striking in the groin. This would hurt if I jammed the sword back and forth like that. All right? Sorry, it's for video. Thanks for that. Okay, he can also throw a punch. As he throws a punch, strike and use it as a lock. If I go into his stomach, it's not affecting the groin so much. It's a little bit more tidy. All right, the second technique we're going to use is a blind man's cane. Looks like this is a blind man's coming in from here. This one, he throws a punch. As he throws a punch, I break his elbow. Then hook underneath the jaw and grab lock. Okay, from the other side, using it as a blind man's cane. As he throws the punch, simultaneous block, strike the elbow, bring it over here and lock. I can take him down by just pointing to the ground. All right? And 5 techniques, one more. This time, as they throw a punch, simultaneously strike him in the groin as you block up. Now, I take this hand, claw him in the face as I step on his toe, using arm block or light block, using one leg to pry into the next leg. All right? Kind of surprised, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, as he throws a punch, simultaneous block strike to the groin. Okay, now what happens is, I palm him in the face. As I palm him in the face, I step in on his foot to stop his foot going back. Now I pry this leg against his other leg, and this takes him down. If he doesn't let up, he could break his knee, so he has to go down slightly, a little bit easier. This concludes the locking techniques of the sword while it's still in the sheath. After we have the sword in the sheath, over this side, now we have draws. My arm's injured, so it's going to be very, very hard for me, but I'll try to go through it as best possible, at least going through the moves. These draws, as you draw the sword out of its sheath, it goes directly into the cut, the quickest cut. So as you carry the sword, it looks like this, and you kind of dangle the sword. If you have it the other way, you'll have a tendency to roll on you, so it's kind of just dangling on a balance point. From this position, you push it out with the tip of your thumb, otherwise you won't be strong enough to pull out some of the swords. They go in with a great deal of force so it doesn't accidentally fall out of the sheath. So I push it out simultaneously as I push out. Okay, stand right here. This way I won't get you, but it'll look like, you know, they'll see the targeting of it. Okay, a little bit closer, and there you go, perfect. Okay, go into fighting stance so I don't look so violent. There you go, now it looks like you go to violent. Okay, so from here, I pull it out. Now, first one is, as it's from here, I use my body weight to throw the weight into the tip of the sword. You can't really do that now, injured. Again, I wouldn't be able to hold the sword up. I'll be just lucky to hold its weight of the sword. So from here, as it draws out, this is number 1. Position number 1, it draws out and cuts. As it cuts, I bring this back to draw the back of the sword, the tip of my 2 fingernails comes together, the 2 fingernails touch the sword, slides on the tip of the sword, so really your skin never touches the sword, and then draws it in the sheath, and then bring the sheath up to the sword as you bring the sword in. The purpose for that is so the back of the sword rests on the sheath and the tip of the blade never touches even the inside of the sheath. Once it's sharpened, it could dull the sword. So you never want to touch even the blade going into the sheath. Okay, so number one looks like you push it out, it comes in, chop. Bring it, draw back, and resheath it. Second, number two, we're going to twist this 45 degrees. So from here, it comes in sideways slash. Again, bring it back, and up, and in. Okay, and number three comes up from the ground. Now you turn it, and you're turning it 180 degrees, and it's coming up. Slashes up. And those are your three draws. In other words, pulling it out of your sheath. Okay, now what's going to happen is, if you draw and slash, you're going to learn these basic techniques, which is a cut, a block, or flings the blood off the sword. So each one of these techniques is three different things. So as you draw it, you're doing a close. The close is either a cut, so you slashed him, it didn't work, and you cut 2 more times, or you slashed him and he attacks you, you block twice, or you slashed him, it was perfect, and you throw the blood off of your blade. So these are 3 of the draws. We're going to add these techniques into it. So first one looks like this. I come in, I slash down. I do keep the tip in the same spot, block, and slash. Swing the sword up, and close. Okay, that's number one. Number two, coming in sideways. I swing, slash, block, throw the blood off, swing, up, and slash. The last one comes up. Number three, it slices up. Now from right here, there's a way that you stab this way and it throws the blood off of your blade. Also it attacks. Then slash, throw up. Only it comes up on the upper one. And then straight in. So these are the draws. Again, we're doing this just as a recap to remember some of the bigger details. The fine details will be in the seminar. All right, next will be the 3 cuts. Okay, there's 3 major cuts. First one, okay, fighting stance right there. Okay, first one is a cut. This one starts off as a split. This is like splitting something in 2, just like a chop. Sorry, we'll call this a chop. So it's just like chopping straight down. The second one is a split. Okay, it's like splits it in 2. And the third one is a poke. When you're doing the form, it's really hard to visualize whether it's a split, a chop, or a poke. Especially when going fast, it's very hard to determine which is which. But there's 3 major ideas. Again, this is a split, chop, and poke. Okay, it kind of looks like you're casting a rod of a fishing rod. The idea is splitting down, splitting, and poke. You see the difference? Okay, now this, after you've mastered these 3 cuts, okay, one being a split, splitting something in 2. Or excuse me, this is a chop, chopping something in 2. The split is like you're chopping, but you're also pushing. It's like cutting something as it's splitting. And then the last one is a poke. So split, chop, split, poke. Have a little problem with the terminology. It's really not this way in Japanese. All right, also after you've mastered this, it can go from every angle. So you have a chop coming down, a chop coming from the side, a chop coming from the other side, a chop coming up. You have the poke, the poke, the poke, the poke, you see what I mean? You have the split, you see what I mean? So now you have each technique, a chop, a split, or a poke, done at 360 levels. So that gives you almost 1,000 different angles that you can strike this at. A great deal of practice. It's up to you to determine how good you want to get. So you have the quickest draw, then you have the quickest different types of splits and different kind of cuts as you're in this position. The next, we'll go ahead and use a drill. Let's go ahead and use 2 shinais. So grab 2 shinais.